All right, welcome back. Time to get specific here, so let's dive right into state management. Here's the deal. Now, when it comes to managing your state, there are certain types of states that we refer to as the empowered states, and they lead us to massive wealth and success. And there are other states, the so-called disempowered states, that lead us to massive poverty and failure. Now, in sales, there are 4 key states, those 4 key empowered states. Let me list them right now. Now, we refer to these as the 4 C's, and you'll see why in a moment. First one is certainty, as opposed to being uncertain. Number 2, you must have clarity as opposed to being overwhelmed. Number 3, confidence as opposed to a lack of confidence. And 4, courage as opposed to a state of fear, which is really disempowering. Those are your so-called 4 C's. Now, think of it this way. Imagine being a salesperson and you're walking around all day long feeling fearful, uncertain, and completely overwhelmed. Good luck trying to become a top producer in your field, right? Simply not going to happen. However, on the flip side, if you enter each sales encounter feeling confident, clear, and with certainty literally oozing out of your pores, you set yourself up to close at the highest level. See, what your state basically does is it dictates how you operate in the moment. For example, you can be the greatest salesperson in the world. You have all the skill sets of the straight line locked down tight. But if you show up to someone's door or pick up the phone and you're feeling uncertain, overwhelmed, I don't care how good of a salesperson you could be, in that moment, you're not very good. See, if you're uncertain and overwhelmed, you can't access the skill sets and resources you have that allow you to normally close a deal. In fact, today's a metaphor day, right? The perfect metaphor for this is the way a valve functions. For example, when you're in an empowered state like certainty or clarity, confidence, courage, right? The valve is in an open position. Check out this graphic here, right? And it allows all the skill sets and resources to essentially flow out of you effortlessly and express themselves in the real world. Conversely, when you're in a negative or disempowered state, uncertainty, fear, overwhelm, the valve slams shut, and no matter how many skills you possess inside you, you simply can't have them flow out of you at that moment. Another way, you simply can't access them in that moment to close the deal. That's why, as a salesperson, if you want to succeed at the highest level, you have to learn how to trigger a peak state of certainty, clarity, confidence at will at those key moments, especially when it matters most. And again, the key phrase here is when it matters most. See, what I'm not talking about, just to be clear, I'm not talking about training yourself to walk around all day long in a state of absolute certainty. I mean, what do you call someone who walks around all day long with their shoulders pulled back and their chest puffed out and their head held high and they're talking certain, they're acting certain, and all their words certain? What do you call that person? Well, we call those people assholes. We hate them. You get it? In fact, this is one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they go to a seminar. Like, they get this inconsistent message about state management. It's about walking around all day long feeling that way. And number one, you can't do it. It's impossible to do. And number 2, it would be ridiculous even if you tried. What I'm talking about here is something very different. I'm talking about learning a strategy that will allow you to show up at the absolute top of your game every time you knock on someone's door, pick up the phone, make a call. It's a strategy that will allow you to enter every encounter in a state of absolute certainty, so the straight line system can then transfer that to the prospect, and you can close everyone who's closable. Make sense? Okay, great. Now I want to stop right now. I want you to take a quiz. There's a couple of exercises for you to do, and as soon as you're done, please meet me right back in the next lesson, which is lesson number 2, and we will roll forward. I will see you there.